up the good work.
Thanks, Tommy.
Before the storm.
Yeah, can't wait. Yeah.
All right, good man. Thanks a million.
Cheers, Tom.
Yeah. Tommy Heffernan, veterinary consultant here. I recently paid a trip down to Eamon O Connell, a vet in a very busy vet practice in Nenagh Co Tipperary. Summerhill Vets has 6 vets and they have a huge amount of farm work. Springtime is their busiest time of year. It's early December, it's the calm before the storm. I caught up with Eamon and had a chat about calf health, but also I wanted to hear his feedback on the exciting new product from Precision Microbes, the calf probiotic and postbiotic liquid solution. I wanted to hear from Eamon firsthand how they were using the products in their practice and what difference they were seeing on farm and with their clients. Listen in. Right, we're down here in Tipperary with Eamon O Connell, well-known veterinarian, large animal practitioner, writes for the Independent, very passionate vet. Eamon, I suppose it's the calm before the storm. Okay, we're in the calf shed here. There's going to be lots of calves in it. Your top tips around calf health, it's a big challenge each spring, isn't it?
It's a huge challenge each spring, Tommy, yeah. We regularly, pneumonia, scour, every spring. They're the huge challenges for farmers for what are really baby calves that need to be looked after. So like top tips, the usuals, colostrum, like the 1, 2, 3 of colostrum is best start, first start they get. And then hygiene. Hygiene is a huge thing. Dipping navels, keeping all your utensils, your cleaning utensils clean, disinfected. And then you're into your calf shed here where you need it dry, warm enough, but still with enough of fresh air coming through to keep your calves healthy.
Simple things like straw, fresh air, and they sound simple, but they're the hard ones to get right, aren't they?
They are, yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we've often discussed different types of vaccines and how vaccines work, but I mean, if you don't have the basics of your clean, dry, nicely bedded shed, you're already a step behind.
Okay. You happen to be as well the very, very first vet your practice using Precision Microbes products. And it's not that long ago, it's last February. It's been a bit of a journey since then. We had a chat about, I suppose, calf scour. Yep. We had a chat about, what you do, and I was saying, look, but I'm working with these products, do you want to try them? I suppose tell me a little bit about where a bit about calf scour, what you were seeing and what your requirement as a vet and maybe some of the farmers were looking for, and then before we get into the products.
I suppose we've got a good few guys that rear their own calves and we've got a good few guys that buy in calves to rear. Okay. And the common things being common, there was always little bits of rotavirus scour, and then the horrible crypto scour was causing problems too. And yes, of course, we were getting in there and we were getting on top of it, but the recovery was slow. You were finding calves that were well behind their comrades, especially on the calf rearer side of things, where guys were buying in calves and were just finding it very, very hard to get them out of that danger time with the first 2-3 weeks when they were brought in from getting scour, and to try and push on from there. And I suppose where we started with Precision Microbes was, I'd come to you a good while back saying, like, the market was awash with things that people were adding to milk and adding to feed, and I just wanted to get my head around it. And I suppose what we looked at with Precision Microbes was, when it goes in, just how quickly it starts to work. There's no lag period of 10 days to 2 weeks for the bacteria to change. You're straight in. And we tried it with 2 of our calf rearers first, where I just went out to them and said, look, this new product's on the market. I don't know much about it. I haven't seen it working yet, but let's just try it. We put it on half their calves. And the first guy came back a week later and he says, can I get that for the rest of my calves? Because the optics, just to look into his first 2 pens that were on Precision Microbes and his other 2 pens that weren't, just as in seemed to be thriving better slick sheen on their coat. Livelier was the big thing, as in they were up ready to suck, where the other calves were, they were okay, but they just hadn't that drive on. And I suppose from there then we kind of said, right, okay, we've got something here, and we introduced it to a couple of guys who had problems. In particular, on the farm we're standing on at one stage, where calves were just, and we had all, like, obviously it's a lovely setup, everything was done right, but yet calves were struggling a bit with little bits of scour and just not pushing on. And again, once we got them on Precision Microbes, just to get their gut health right, I suppose we kind of forget that baby calves are baby calves. Yeah. And they need to be treated like baby calves, not just
small calves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, and from there, I think the key for us was we chose where to introduce Precision Microbes. We weren't going, here's the product, belt away, lads. We were looking at farms that were already doing a lot of things right, and trying to improve their outcomes, and definitely introduced onto those farms, it made a huge difference.
Yeah, that's interesting, because when you sometimes think about products, you think about problems, but it's actually looking for that extra 10 or 15%, or is that recovery? And it's I suppose the speed is down to the postbiotics, which is quite unique. I was seeing it myself as well, obviously, and you guys did me a big favour, because sometimes you're looking at so many different things and you want to see things, and I was saying this stuff is quite fast acting and all you were saying, and I think it just took off from there. So thank you guys and your practice.
Well, look, we'd be dubious by nature about anything new, but I suppose when you see it on the ground, no, I do, Tommy. I definitely take everything at first, but when you see it working so quickly, that was the key. Because as I said, the market is awash with milk additives of all sorts, all claiming to do X, Y, and Z. And I suppose from our point of view, we wanted to just get our head around what those were, because all the time when we were dealing with scour outbreaks back through the years, a farmer would say, well, I'm using X now in the milk. And I'd say, I haven't heard of that, because it's a new one on the market again this year. So I suppose we were hoping to find something that we could say, right, we know this works, we've seen it work, and we can recommend it to somebody.
And the science is there behind
exactly.
it. Exactly,
yeah, the proof is there. And I mean, we have something in Precision Microbes to do that, yeah.
Good, and because I think that's very important for us as well, is to be there with the science and understand, what's happening, why it's working, how it's working, and it's used correctly. So thank you for that. So that's it. That's Eamon O Connell. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Tommy.
Before the storm.
Yeah, can't wait. Yeah.
All right, good man. Thanks a million.
Cheers, Tommy.